Hey there. This is a brand new experiment. Welcome to this, I guess, will be actually episode 20 of the 21st Century Man Show Man podcast. The very first live stream we're doing here on the YouTube. Thanks to my good friend Adam Lowry at the Cognitive Rampage and seeing what he's doing. Thanks, dude, for the inspiration. And we're going to see how the hell this goes and go on from here. So it is Thursday night. It's pretty nice. It's been a pretty hellacious week. And what I wanted to talk to you a little bit about tonight is something that has been kind of tickling in the back of my head for the last little bit. Cheers. And that is the kind of things, and we're going to delve into a topic that we don't normally go into. We haven't gone into yet on the show, and not something we don't go into. And that would be relationships. It is it can be a sensitive subject. It can be a touchy subject, and it can be something that, people aren't really interested in hearing. They're not really interested in listening to, but you know what? If we're going to redefine what it takes to be a man in the 21st century, this is definitely a subject that we're going to have to cover. So we're going to cover this one, and we're going to cover it well. And we're going to talk about one thing in particular. The one thing that I have come to believe, listening to a lot of people, that is the number one relationship killer. No, it's not infidelity. It's not money stress. It's not any of the normal things that you read about and hear about on, and all the advice columns and everything. That, in my opinion, and I'm having a hard time hearing myself, so I'm going to pop out my earphones. The number one killer of most relationships is pet peeves. Now, I know you're thinking to yourself, pet peeves? We all have those. Everybody knows something that annoys the shit out of somebody else. But let me explain to you why this is something that I believe is something we should all take seriously. You see, pet peeves are those things that our friends, our family, our significant others have, that, the things that we do, certain things that we do may just annoy the shit out of them. Whether it's, leaving your socks in the wrong place, dirty dishes in the sink, the noises you make in the bathroom, the way anything. There's a lot of little seemingly minor things that can annoy everybody to no end. And a lot of times we think it's not important. I'm dribbling over here. This is we're flying by the seat of our pants tonight, and this is really kind of a soft launch, so what the hell, let's do it. The things that we think that are just really silly and annoying and aren't really worth our time to worry about. But yet, if you're in a relationship, you got to understand that these things that are important to them should be important to you, even if you think they're lame and annoying and really kind of inconsequential. So how they can kill relationships is by simply ignoring them, or conversely, having yours ignored. Now, how does that happen? Quite honestly, the more you are ignored, or the more you ignore your significant other and these little things that you think are ticky-tack and nonsense, the less they feel appreciated, the less they feel listened to. And they may be small, but they build up and build up and build up over time until it comes to a point where you or the other person comes to a belief that you have little to no value in the relationship. And that the other person doesn't take you seriously, doesn't care about what you care about, doesn't listen to your concerns, doesn't, just doesn't value you the way you should be valued. That is, you know, that's going to kill it. That is, as far as I'm concerned, that is one of the leading causes of divorce in this country is people who don't pay attention to or care about or give a shit about the other person's pet peeves. My first marriage, um, kind of sort of ended that way. I mean, there's other stories that go along with it, and on this show, we're definitely going to get into those. And I know it's going to probably piss off a lot of people, but I am I am committed to being as transparent as a glass of water here because that's the only way to be. But there were a lot of things that annoyed me in my first marriage. I was working and going to school at the same time, so the little things that I couldn't get around to in a 24-hour day just simply weren't getting done. And in any relationship, when one person is taking on more stuff to help move things forward, to grow, to expand, to get it into a better place, it's my belief that the other person should step up and kind of pick up those things that are outside that periphery while the other person is charging ahead. Now, this goes both ways. When your significant other is charging ahead to do something new or a new adventure, a new job, going to school, what have you, it's your job to pick up the friggin' slack around, so the other person can focus on what they need to focus on and not have to worry about the nitnoid minor details of everyday life. So it's these sort of things, these sort of little pet peeves that over time, as they're ignored or blown off, that just kind of, it builds a resentment. It builds a feeling of a lack of appreciation, a lack of value in any relationship. And it can be in a marriage, it can be in a dating relationship, it can be in your family, it can be in a work relationship. They all have there's an equation where what you put in, you feel like you should have value, you should be valued for what your contribution is, and that for certain small tiny things that kind of annoy you, if you're not listened to, then you begin to wonder what the hell and why you're actually still hanging out there. So I've seen a lot of friends over the years who have suffered through bad jobs, bad marriages where they don't feel appreciated, and their pet peeves, their small ticky tack things are not listened to, are not valued. And so they've kind of just suffered through, and I've seen it just kind of suck the will to live right out of them. It's taken the joy right out of their step. It's taken their zest for life completely out of it. And that's just a sad thing to watch. It's a sad thing to watch the light go out of people's eyes because they feel like they're stuck in some place where they're not valued, where they're not appreciated. And my advice to them, to people that are stuck in those situations, is to find a way to get the hell out. First of all, try to fix it. Have the difficult discussions, have the talks, explain to the other party, whomever it may be, what you're feeling and how you're, and how you feel unappreciated, and the little things that they could pay attention to that would make you feel like you're listened to. And if they continue to blow you off, they continue to treat it like it's not important or that these little things are just silly and ridiculous, then it's time to find a way to hit the damn eject button, because life's too short to be stuck in some place you're not appreciated, whether it's your job or in a dating relationship or a marriage, or in some cases even in a familial relationship where um, you're not appreciated for the person that you are, and the little tiny things that are important to you, and the continued ignoring of them is even hurtful at times. um, it's just time to hit the damn eject button, and it can be difficult. I'm not going to lie to you. It's ending any sort of relationship, whether it's, you know, personal or professional, is never something that's easy. But for your own sake and for the sake of the people that still do appreciate you and believe in you and deserve the very best you that you can be, you know, you got to find a way to get out. So if you're in a spot right now and somebody in your life is kind of talking about things that annoy them that you do, make the effort. Make the effort and make them feel valued. You know, let them know that you value them. Unless you don't, then why the fuck are you in there in the first place? You know, you're just being kind of an asshole. But if you value the relationship, then show them that you value them. Listen to their pet peeves, and you know, make the effort. You know, it may not be perfect, and God knows, you know, you're not always going to remember. You're not always going to get it right. But simply making the effort goes a long, long way towards showing the other people, the other person, that you value them, that you're listening to them, that they're important. So, and now the rant. Guys, can I talk to you for just a minute? Just you guys. Sometimes I got to ask myself, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know, I've seen and I've had conversations with, and over the years, with female friends of mine, um, about how men are online and how they speak to women. And I got to ask you, what is your damn problem? Seriously. You know, I've seen screenshots, I've seen things in real time that it makes my damn skin crawl. I'll be perfectly honest. And if things like this were said in an actual person to person presence, you'd probably get the absolute shit kicked out of you. And it's time for you to fucking knock it off. All right? Part of the mission of this show is to redefine what it means to be a man in the 21st century. And I'll tell you one thing that it's not, that being a man is not. It's not being some sort of creepy ass, rapey vibe given off dickhead through the anonymity of a computer screen. If you're saying things that you wouldn't say in person, that you wouldn't want somebody saying to, you know, I don't know, your sister, your, your mom, then you know what? Keep that shit tucked away. Just shh. Just shh, shh. Because I got a whole bag. Shh. Just shh. Because honestly, guys, that sort of crap is just unacceptable. 100% unacceptable. And I don't give a rat's ass about whether or not it's, that's how, that's how guys talk. But no, boys talk like that. Boys who don't respect other people talk like that. We're all about being a man on this show. Being a man is it starts with the very basic foundation of treating the other person with respect. And if you can't do that because you feel emboldened from behind a screen to say things that honestly, should give you 15 years in prison for saying in real life, then perhaps the internet's not for you. And honestly, I'm going to use a little bit of the slang that kids use nowadays. If you're that thirsty, fucking fix yourself a drink and turn off your computer. That's going to be it for tonight. Hopefully this archives this video, or this could be an absolute abject failure of an experiment. But hey, what the hell? It was fun, wasn't it? So we're going to sign off, and until next time, remember, love wins always. There are no coincidences. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. It just takes one decision. Bye.